employers right now are feeling pretty bullish. Unemployment rates are low, growth is high. At the end of 2017, we conducted a large labor market research project and found some really interesting things. The biggest one is that 61% of US employers tell us that they plan on hiring more people in 2018 than they did in 2017. Most people are hiring because they're growing. Secondly, they're hiring because they need to fill a particular skills gap that they don't have in their organization today. And then lastly, they're hiring simply to backfill people who have left in the previous year. You know, as we look across the different industries that we surveyed in this report, those industries that tend to service other industries had a higher expectation of growth. So that would be architectural services and engineering, IT and telecom, professional services. We're at the top of the stack. Conversely, industries like retail and education services were on the bottom of the list when it comes to expected growth. I would say while 2018 is going to be an amazing year for hiring, it's going to be one of the most difficult years for hiring. It's highly competitive. You've got organizations that are not only competing for the top talent, the executive talent, but they tell us that the toughest area to hire is actually the entry-level employee. The reason why this is important is if you think about companies like The Gap, who have to have store associates servicing customers, or Amazon with warehouse workers, you can't fill these entry-level roles. You can't sell somebody a pair of jeans, or that package that's ordered online doesn't actually get shipped. The reason why, at least in my opinion, that entry-level roles are so difficult to fill is that the switching cost is very low. If you're qualified to be a store associate in one industry, you're also qualified most likely to be a warehouse worker or a restaurant employee. And as wages are typically lower in these environments, another 25 cents, another 50 cents an hour is a big incentive to have somebody move roles. 2018 is going to be a banner year. Hiring's up, growth is up. This is going to produce some pretty unique challenges for hiring managers. So I would suggest, one, make sure that you have an environment where your current employees can become a recruiter by referring their friends, their past colleagues to work for your company. Two, recruitment advertising is absolutely critical. You got to make sure that when people are looking for jobs, you're there and you're seen. And lastly, don't forget about your employment brand. Employment brand is what matters when people are thinking about where they want to work next. They're going to read reviews, they're going to research your company, and if you have a poor employment brand, they're going to steer somewhere else and go work for somebody else. And when it comes to the job seeker looking for jobs, they're in the driver's seat. So when it comes to time to look for a new job, I would suggest that make sure you focus on a couple things. One, make sure your resume is up to date and clearly articulates the real you. Secondly, make sure that you're using technology to find the job that best fits you, and that's search engines, that's websites, etc. And lastly, when it comes to apply, spend the time to make sure that the company you're applying for and ultimately going to go work for is a good cultural fit. Certainly you're going to uncover that in the interview process, but today it's so easy to find what it's like to work at a company through sites like Indeed that have millions and millions of reviews of what it's like to work at a given company.